You bring the disrespect, you don't get no check.
Achieved in the United States, the country must finally take seriously what it owes Black Americans. MSNBC correspondent Tremaine Lee interviewed Nicole Hannah-Jones in his latest Into America podcast on reparations. Tremaine joins me now. And Tremaine, what are the factors that Nicole talked about here that are contributing or have contributed to the racial wealth gap in our country?
Hey, Allison, more than just contributions, the actual source, the root of the wealth gap goes back to shortly after emancipation, when the entire, enslaved population, formerly enslaved population, really were pushed out with absolutely nothing, starting from ground zero. And even though the government had promised some restitution in 40 acres and a mule, those promises fell through. And in fact, the former, plantation owners were given back that land that had been promised to enslaved people. But then after that, decades and decades of Jim Crow laws, lack of access to jobs, depressed housing values, on and on, up from after emancipation through Reconstruction, redemption, into the 50s and 60s. All of these contributing factors, including the actual violent dispossession of wealth, the actual bombing of Black Wall Street, the actual burning and looting of Black communities all across the country. And that land and that wealth and resources were never returned.
So how do we begin to close the gap between Black and white Americans? And what would closing that gap mean for Black Americans, their future, their economic security?
Well, part of the issue has always been that Black folks haven't been able to accumulate the wealth and then pass it on, like buying a house and then passing it on to your children, or taking the equity out of that and passing it on. And so Nicole Hannah-Jones argues that there is only one solution, and that's restitution or reparations. Let's take a listen to what she has to say.
Imagine this. Tomorrow morning, the United States announces that every Black American is entitled to $151 million in reparations. Not just a symbolic gesture, but actual life-changing wealth, deposited directly into the hands of those whose ancestors built this country for free. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this is entirely possible, but also why every Black American should never pay taxes again. Yes, you heard that right. Never pay taxes again. Stay with me, because the numbers, the history, and the moral argument are all on our side. Let's start with a simple yet powerful question. What if reparations were the key to solving the racial wealth gap once and for all? Right now, the median wealth of a white family in America is nearly 8 times higher than that of a Black family. 8 times. That's not a gap, that's a canyon. And this disparity didn't happen by accident. It's the result of centuries of systemic exploitation, starting with slavery and continuing through Jim Crow laws, redlining, and discriminatory practices that persist to this day. But what if we could change that narrative? What if we could give every Black American the financial freedom they deserve? Hello and welcome to the Chronicles of Blacks, a channel where we delve into the deep tapestry of Black history. Please subscribe to our channel as we continue our fight for justice as Blacks. Here's the shocking truth. Reparations.
Turkey a la shiki. Might as well be reparations, because it's a lot of oppression going on in boxing. It's a lot of rigmarole. Even Earl the True Spence is a victim of it. The PBC fighters are a victim of it as well. They're inactive. And there's a guy over there in Saudi Arabia giving away money, reparations in fact, for people that can't get the big pay-per-view buys. You know, the people that are looked down on. Welfare in fact. They say food stamps. Turkey's giving out food stamps. They degrade the people that mess with Turkey. They degrade anybody that deals with Turkey a la chic, and also put homosexual connotations on them, saying they're bowing to their knees. Gobbling Turkey up. Reparations. If you ain't gonna give us reparations for slavery, okay, at least give us reparations for sending crack cocaine to the Black neighborhoods to fund the war. Our face of boxing back in them days used to stand on things. Our face of boxing nowadays just troll, wear purses, and present an image that we are not happy of. We want you to fight somebody, since you're going to portray that image and show us that you are truly a tough guy. We don't care if you lose. We didn't care if Ali lost. We didn't care if Mike Tyson lost. They got back up, nigga. We think Shakur Stevenson is the real deal, and he over there getting that Turkey money, reaching his hand in that bag like smart people do. Anybody that's not for the reparations for the black African that was stolen and brought over here to America shouldn't even be on this channel. And if you have that state of mind, man, you're kind of like people that don't want black people to go over there and get a bag with Turkey. Only want Tank Davis to get a bag because that's your guy. What about all the other brothers? Brother.
They don't want to, when we talk about A side and B side. That's why they always say, nah, we don't want to talk about that. The fans just want to wonder. Nah, we're gonna talk about the A side because that's the person who's gonna dictate the terms.
Yeah. It's always been like that too.
It's always been like that, but
it's always been like that.
But when you got certain people.